Now in this video, we're going to learn about quadratic sequences. Now this is normally aimed for the higher tier paper, but in terms of quadratic sequences, it's actually the same as linear sequences. However, there are more steps to it. So let's start. Now we have this first sequence 6, 9, 14, 21, 30. Now we want to find difference. So we have 3 for the first one, 5, 7, and 9. So unlike linear sequences, the difference 3, 5, 7, 9 they're not the same. But in order to do this, we just have to find the difference between those numbers. So between 3 and 5 is 2, 5 and 7 is 2, and 7 and 9 is 2. However, when it comes to sequences, in order to find the nth term, we actually have to divide the difference by itself by 2. And therefore, by doing this, we have the first term as n squared. Okay, now what? Now, in order to find whether we add a number or subtract a number, we must write out first the square numbers. So we have the square numbers are 1, 4, 9, and 16. Now the next step is to find the difference between 6, 9, 14, 20, and 30 by the square numbers itself. So let me write here, difference. So we want 6, take away 1, which is 5. 9, take away 4, which is 5. 14, take away 9, which is 5. And 16, we have 21, take away 16, which is 5. Now we have a constant. Now as you can see, we have 5 as a common difference. Therefore, the sequence and the nth term must be n squared plus 5. Now this might seem a bit confusing at first, but after we do a few questions, it should be alright. Okay, in this sequence we have 1, 7, 17, 31, and 49. Now what we do is find difference. So we have 6, we have 10, we have 14, and we have 18. That's step 1 complete. Next step is find the difference between those numbers. So we have 4 over here, 4 over here, and 4 is the difference. Now remember what I said the first question. We must divide by 2 to get the n squared. So we have divided by 2, then therefore we have 2n squared. Okay, now what? Now, as I said before, you must find the difference between the square numbers. So we have 1, 4, 9. We have the square numbers 1, 4, 9, and 16. Now we have the square numbers 1, 4, 9, and 16. However, because it's 2n squared, we actually times the squares by 2. So instead of 1, 4, 9, 16, we have 2, 8, 18, and 32. Now these are numbers that we take away. 7 minus 8, which equals minus 1. 17 minus 18, which equals minus 1. And 31 minus 32, which equals minus 1. Now we can see that we have a common theme of minus 1. Therefore, the difference and the final nth term will be 2n squared minus 1. Now, let me just go over the question. So initially we have the sequence 1, 7, 17, 31, 49. What we do, first of all, is find the difference between those numbers. So 6, 10, 14, 18. Next step is find the difference between those numbers, which we have 4, 4, and 4. Now in order to find what the n squared is, we must divide by 2. So we have 2n squared. Now in order to find the difference, we must square the numbers, well, take away from the square numbers. So we have 1, 4, 9, 16. However, because it's 2n squared, we must double the square numbers. So we have 2, 8, 18, 32. Now last, let's find the difference. So we have 1 over here. 1 minus 2. Give us minus 1. 7 minus 8 over here. Give us minus 1. 17, take away 18. Give us minus 1. 31 minus 32. Which give us minus 1. So hence the final nth term is 2n squared minus 1. Now next question, we have 7, 11, 17, and 25. As always, we find the difference between these numbers. We have 6, 8. Next is find the difference between those numbers. So we have 2 and we have 2. Therefore, if we divide by 2 in itself, 2 by 2, we'll get n squared. So let me just write the square numbers. So we have 1, 4, and 9. Now next stage is find the difference. So we have 7, take away 1, which equals 6. 11, take away 4, which equals 7. And 17 minus 9, which equals 8. Now this is nothing like what we did before, so we can see how the difference is here is minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. But this time these numbers 6, 7, 8, we find the nth term of that. So we have 6, 7, and 8. Now what I said, we need to find the nth term, which we've done many times in the previous video and this video. So we find difference, 1, 1. And in order to find what we add by, we do take away 1, which equals to 5. So it will be n plus 5. And what we do is we combine these two nth terms together, which will give us n squared plus n plus 5. And that will be the nth term for this question. So for more revision, go on algebrafun.co.uk, where you can watch revision videos and attempt worksheets and also attempt past paper questions.